Legend of Yufei Chapter 29.
Our guy is Niu Gao. He's called a brave general, sure, but the really crucial bit, he's a sworn brother to Yu Fei. And Yu Fei, for anyone who knows the history, he's basically a legend, like the symbol of loyalty in China. So Niu Gao being his sworn brother, that connection, it's powerful. It means something. Anyway, he's captured by Yang Hu, this grass bandit leader. And Yang Hu is furious, orders Niu Gao killed right there. On the spot, just when you think, okay, that's it for Niu Gao, this voice pipes up, changes the whole direction. It's like a plot twist setting up the next act.
Exactly. And that voice belongs to Hua Pufang, one of Yang Hu's own marshals. He actually kneels down, which is interesting in itself, and suggests, hey, wait, let's imprison him instead. And his reasoning is just brilliant. He points out Yu Fei's famous loyalty. He says, look, if we keep Niu Gao alive, his sworn doggo, his elder brother Yu Fei will be stuck. He'll hesitate. You know, does he rescue his brother or does he keep fighting us? It forces Yu Fei into a dilemma. It's almost like applying cognitive load theory to warfare. Make your enemy think about too many things at once.
Like distract him, basically. Make him split his focus.
Precisely. Hua Pufang argues this hesitation might even make Yu Fei submit, and then bam, Yang Hu gets Song territory. And Yang Hu, he listens. He sees the strategic angle. So he cancels the execution and tells his men, give Niu Gao dry clothes, lock him up, store his armor. It fits that larger pattern and strategy, doesn't it? Using leverage, psychological tactics, not just brute force. Hua Pufang is playing on Yu Fei's virtues, his known character, rather than just, eliminating Niu Gao. It's indirect, it's smart.
It really is.
Yeah.
Targeting the mind, not just the man. Amazing. So, okay, Hua Pufang is clearly sharp. But what about this Yang Hu? He's the boss, the grass bandit king. You might picture him in some rough hideout, right?
Well, that's another fascinating detail that kind of shatters the stereotype. His base is on Dongqing Mountain, rich in resources, wood, stone, and he doesn't just camp out. He takes over an existing Guandi temple dedicated to the god of war and brotherhood, ironically enough, and he transforms it, builds a royal hall, a Wangdian. And not just that, he uses the local resources to build back palaces, storerooms, official buildings. This shows huge ambition, right? He's not thinking like a temporary outlaw. He's setting up something permanent, like a ruler. He's projecting legitimacy, trying to build a state. That's a strategic move in itself.
Wow, a bandit king with palaces. That really changes the picture. Okay, so fast forward. The next day, Hua Pufang goes to see Niu Gao in prison. Brings wine, food, attendance. Trying to smooth things over, maybe.
Yeah.
But Niu Gao, even in chains, he's got this incredible defiance. They summon him, and he basically shouts back, you doghead, if he doesn't come in, does old Master Me go out to greet him? The guard just has to relay this insult. I mean, the nerve. What's the play there? Is it just pride?
I think it's more than pride. It's a form of psychological resistance. He's refusing to act defeated. By making Hua Pufang come to him, Niu Gao grabs back a tiny bit of control. He's saying, you haven't broken me.
Yeah.
It's a statement of character. And interestingly, it works. Hua Pufang has to swallow the insult, enters the cell, and addresses him respectfully as General Niu. And then Hua Pufang makes his move, praises Niu Gao's righteousness, calls him a true hero, and proposes they become sworn brothers.
Whoa, okay. Sworn brothers. With his prisoner, that feels risky. Like, couldn't Niu Gao see right through that? Or think it's a trap?
Oh, absolutely risky. But it's a calculated gamble. Hua Pufang is trying to disarm him, build rapport, maybe get some intel later. It's a classic tactic, find common ground, even if you have to invent it. And Niu Gao's response is really interesting. He hesitates first, showing he's cautious, but then he accepts. And he reveals something about himself. He says he used to be a highwayman, known as the King of Justice. So this past as an outlaw with his own code. It might make the idea of brotherhood, even this weird situation, appeal to him on some level. And Hua Pufang doubles down on the respect, bows to Niu Gao as his elder brother, asks for martial arts lessons. It's all part of the act.
It's like a high-stakes play unfolding in a prison cell.
Yeah.
Hua Pufang thinks he's setting Niu Gao up, but then Niu Gao completely flips the script. They're drinking, and Niu Gao starts persuading Hua Pufang. He tells him basically, ditch Yang Hu, join the good guys, the Song dynasty, abandon darkness and turn to light. I mean, the audacity. He just hijacks the conversation.
Yeah.
It's a stunning moment. It really shows Niu Gao's conviction, maybe something Hua Pufang totally underestimated. Niu Gao doesn't just suggest it, he gives this whole speech. Praises the Song emperor, King Wang, in Jinling. Calls Yu Fei Dago a peerless hero with this band of amazing brothers, talks about their grand plan to rescue the captured emperors, promising glory, honor, fame after death for joining them. And then he just dismisses Yang Hu, calls him a nameless grass bandit, doing nothing but stealing chickens and dogs, warns Hua Pufang about eternal infamy. Hua Pufang is just speechless. He came to persuade, and now he's getting this full-blown recruitment pitch. All he can manage is to say, let's just drink for now, basically dodging the whole thing. It shows how powerful that appeal to legitimacy and lasting glory was compared to just being a bandit. Niu Gao might seem unrefined, a meat Han, but his belief is potent.
You could just picture Hua Pufang reeling. He walked in thinking he was the puppet master, and Yu Gao pulls his strings. Fantastic. But Hua Pufang isn't done yet. He shifts tactics again. Thinks, okay, let me find out about Yu Fei's army. So he casually asks, how good is Yu Fei? How many generals like Yu Dego does he have? And this next part, this is where Yu Gao really shines.
Yeah.
He sees the question for what it is. How does he handle it?
Oh, he handles it brilliantly. It's pure psychological warfare through information, or maybe disinformation. Yu Gao realizes Hua Pufang is probing, so he decides, okay, let me scare this guy. He launches into this incredibly detailed, highly exaggerated description of Yu Fei's forces. He knows fear is a weapon. Starts with Yu Fei himself, looks like a god, majestic. Famous for fighting Zhao Liangwang back in the capital. Now he's Grand Marshal. Then he starts listing generals. Specific names, specific skills.
Yeah, it's not just lots of good fighters. He gives them names, backstories almost.
Exactly. He mentions the Tongwai, white armor, spear skills like his own, just fewer whiskers. Funny detail. Zhang Xian, tall, strong, uses a hooked spear, appears and disappears like a spirit. Super intimidating. Wang Gu, red horse, golden saber, famous victory over Wang Shan. Then more names. Shi Quan, Zhao Xing, Zhao Yun, Liang Xing, Ji Qing, and then the clincher. He throws in descendants of the legendary Liangshan march heroes, Zhang Guoxiang, Dong Feng, Ruan Liang, all with 10 out of 10 skill. Says Yu Fei commands 10,800 soldiers, the ever-victorious army, the Changsheng Zhong, never lost a battle, he claims.
And then that final touch, the Fei humility. That's the genius part.
Yeah.
Niu Gao says he's basically nothing special, claims he's worse than Yu Fei's personal guards, Zhang Bao and Wang Hang. He makes himself sound average compared to the rest, which just makes the whole army sound even more terrifying.
It's a masterstroke. And it works. Sort of. Hua Pufang is left half believing, half doubting. And here's the fascinating psychological twist. Because Hua Pufang thinks Niu Gao is a simpleton, a Mining Han, he actually thinks the outrageous story might be true. His own bias thinking Niu Gao isn't smart enough to lie, that well makes him vulnerable to the lie. It's like this guy's too straightforward to make all this up. So Hua Pufang just offers some vague praise and leaves, his intelligence mission totally derailed. Niu Gao goes back into shackles, wondering how he'll get out, but he's planted serious seeds of doubt and fear. He's weaponized reputation and numbers.
General Yu Fei rocks up with his army at Taihu. His generals, Tong Wai included, are there, but Yu Fei, sharp as ever, immediately spots someone missing. A key figure. Yu Gao.
Right, that commander's intuition. You notice immediately when something's off.
Exactly. And Tang Huai has to deliver the bad news. Niu Gao, well, apparently he got drunk, wandered onto a boat. And, got nabbed by the bandits. The text says this leaves Yu Fei quite distressed, really troubled. You can almost feel that weight, can't you? This calm strategist, now dealing with a captured friend. A bit of a loose cannon friend, maybe, but still.
Yeah, and that reaction, Sulua, it's important. It's not just, oh, we lost a soldier. It shows this deep personal concern, real empathy for Niu Gao. And that feeling, it actually fuels the whole plan. It shows how compassion can be, well, a strategic driver, He cares about his men.
Absolutely. That commitment is clear.
Yeah.
So faced with this mess, Yu Fei comes up with something. Audacious doesn't quite cover it. He decides to impersonate a younger brother, specifically Tong Huai, to sneak into the bandit camp.
Oh, right.
I mean, that just sounds incredibly risky for the top general. Why would a commander like Yu Fei do that himself? Not send, like, a spy.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It shows he's willing to just bypass the usual chain of command. He wants that first-hand intel. Maybe he doesn't trust reports, or maybe he just knows seeing it himself is different. It gives you that ground truth. Plus, think about the message it sends to his troops. Seeing their general take that kind of personal risk, that builds incredible loyalty. It's leadership by example cranked up to 11.
Makes sense. And doing this requires a cover story back at camp, right?
Definitely.
So, Yu Fei tells the real Tang Huai, okay, you guard the commander's seal, the Katek, and tell everyone I'm feeling unwell, can't hold court today. Pretty standard excuse, actually.
Yeah, plausible. And Tong Huai's reaction, the text says he's anxious, but he just does it. No argument. which tells you a lot about the trust Yu Fei commanded. His generals knew if he was doing something this crazy, there was probably a very good reason.
Okay, so the infiltration begins. Next day, Yu Fei, not sending orders, but actually physically writing the challenge letter with his own hand. That immediacy, that personal touch, it really sets the tone, doesn't it?
It really does. It's significant. He's not delegating this crucial first step.
And he takes just two guys he trusts implicitly, Zhang Bao and Wang Heng. No big army, no fanfare. The source says they use a small boat, sneaking up to the enemy's Shuizai, their water fortress.
Yeah, a water fort. And think about that, a top general putting himself in that position. It's not just stealthy, it's incredibly risky. It's almost like a personal recon mission disguised as a formality.
Right. It feels like more than just delivering a letter.
Oh, absolutely. It's psychological, too. By going himself, Yu Fei is projecting this immense confidence. He's walking right into their stronghold. It says, I'm not afraid of you. Plus, he gets to see Yang Hu, see the defenses, feel the atmosphere himself. No report can capture that, you know? It's invaluable for real-time strategy.
That's a great point. He's like a living symbol of defiance just strolling in. And the deception kicks off right away.
Right.
They get challenged by the guards, the Lulu at the gate. And Zhang Bao, he's super quick. He says they're from Marshal Yu Fei's tent, set by Yi, that's Commander Tang Wai, to deliver the challenge.
A classic bluff, using a subordinate's name.
And incredibly, Yang Hu, the bandit king, who you'd think would be suspicious, he actually lets them in based on that.
Well, it tells you a couple of things, maybe. One, there were probably protocols, formal challenges were expected, maybe delivered by officers. But also, perhaps Yang Hu was just overconfident, secure in his water fort, thinking nobody would dare try something like this. His pride might have blinded him a bit.
Yeah, it makes sense. So these lower guards, the shallow, they open the Zaman, the water gate, the boat docks. Yu Fei gets out with Zhang Bao. Wang Heng stays with the boat, the getaway plan, I guess.
Right. Now they're properly inside. No going back easily.
And what's the very first thing Yu Fei does? He's not just standing there, he's immediately gathering intel. The text says, Qian. He is carefully checking out the terrain, noting how formidable it is. He sees these big stone passes and all the flags flying. He's taking it all in.
He's not just admiring the view, he's doing a mental scan. Where are the weak points? Where are the strengths? Choke points? Archer positions? He's probably assessing troop morale just by looking around. It's that kind of granular detail you only get firsthand. That's why personal recon, despite the danger, is sometimes, well, essential.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's different from just reading a report. So they go deeper in. Yu Fei, still playing the part of Guo Fei, Junior General Tang Wai, kneels before Yang Hu. He presents the letter. Yang Hu seems pretty impressed, actually. Even offers him a seat. Maybe trying to look magnanimous.
Could be. Or maybe just standard procedure for receiving an envoy, even an enemy one. Sets up a false sense of ease, perhaps.
So Yang Hu reads the challenge. And he writes right there on the letter, Yubo Kool. Basically, okay, challenge accepted, battle in 5 days.
Seems straightforward enough. Mission accomplished, right? Get in, deliver the letter, get out.
You'd think so. But this is where it gets really tense. Yang Hu accepts the challenge. He's about to hand the letter back. But then he pauses. He takes another harder look at Yu Fei. And you can almost feel the air change.
That gut feeling.
He's thinking, Eris, wait a minute. I feel like I've seen this guy somewhere before.
Oh, wow. The recognition danger.
He starts trying to place him. Isn't that the Yu Fei who speared Liang Wang at the big martial arts tournament years ago? But then he thinks, maybe not. This guy has a beard now.
That's terrifyingly close. The disguise, the beard, it's holding up, but barely. It shows Yang Hu isn't just some brute. He has a memory. He's observant.
Right. He's cunning.
And it highlights how fragile undercover ops are. One tiny detail, one flicker of memory, and it's all over.
Yeah.
Disaster.
So to check his suspicion, Yang Hu does something clever. He secretly sends someone to fetch Niu Gao from the prison.
Niu Gao. Yu Fei's close comrade captured earlier. Yang Hu figures if anyone can identify Yu Fei, it's him. Brilliant, ruthless move.
Definitely. And while they're waiting for Niu Gao, Yang Hu starts casually questioning Yu Fei.
Song.
Stalling for time, probing for cracks in the story.
Yu Fei has to keep his cool, right? Xian Gao. He just chats back, keeps it casual, deflects probably. Imagine the stress.
Unbelievable pressure. He'd be trying to give vague answers, talk about camp life, without revealing anything specific he wouldn't know as Tang Huai, all while knowing Niu Gao is on his way. Every second must feel like an hour. Okay, so after a bit, Niu Gao shows up at the hall entrance, the Dianmin Shu, and Zhang Bao, Yu Fei's man, sees him, and he's totally startled. He knows this could blow everything wide open.
His reaction alone could give them away.
And then Niu Gao immediately spots Zhang Bao. He just blurts out, Zhang Bao, what are you doing here?
Oh no, direct recognition.
Zhang Bao completely panics. He rushes over, kneels, stammers something about following Tang Huai to deliver the challenge. It's falling apart.
This is it, the absolute crisis point. The text says Yu Fei was sango, scared out of his wits, thinking, okay, this is the end, we're done for.
His life, Zhang Bao's life, the entire mission, hanging by a thread.
You can just feel the ice in his veins at that moment, utterly exposed.
But then, what happens next is just amazing. Niu Gao sees Yu Fei. He instantly gets it. The whole situation flashes before his eyes.
He reads the room in a split second, incredible presence of mind.
Instead of outing him, he plays along. Brilliantly. He calls out loud and clear, "Oh, so it's Brother Tang Huai."
Wow, just turns it right around. He doesn't just save the situation, he seizes it.
It's sheer genius and loyalty.
Yeah.
He knows instantly what he needs to do to protect his general.
It really is the pivotal moment. Niu Gao, a prisoner under threat himself, instantly improvises not just to maintain the cover, but to actually use the situation. It's loyalty and quick wit combined under the most extreme pressure imaginable.
And he doesn't stop there. He launches into this speech, making sure Yang Hu can hear him, directed at the disguised Yu Fei. He says, "Hu Shishou." Essentially, go back to camp, give my respects to Elder Brother Yu.
Using Yu Fei's actual title, Elder Brother Yu, subtly confirming his loyalty for Yang Hu to hear while addressing Tang Huai.
Tell him I, Niu Gao, was wrongly captured by these bandits. Even if I die, my name will live on. If he captures this traitor, meaning Yang Hu, let him avenge me.
What a performance. He's confirming Yu Fei's cover, Tang Huai, showing fierce loyalty to Yu Fei, insulting Yang Hu, these bandits, traitors, and sending a defiant message back to his own side all at once.
It's incredible theater, really, and it completely fools Yang Hu.
It has to. It paints Niu Gao as utterly loyal to Yu Fei and disdainful of his captor, which makes Tang Huai's presence seem perfectly legitimate. He's acting exactly like you'd expect a captured loyal officer to act.
And then, for the final touch, Niu Gao points right at Yang Hu and yells, "Hearing thief! I've sent my message, so kill me already!"
That's just brilliant. Total defiance. Daring him.
It really is. It puts Yang Hu on the spot. Killing him now looks petty, like he can't handle a defiant prisoner.
Exactly. Niu Gao is controlling the narrative, even as a captive. He solidifies his own martyr status while simultaneously cementing Yu Fei's disguise. It's a masterstroke of psychological warfare from an unexpected source.
So what happens after that outburst? Yang Hu may be a bit thrown off balance by Niu Gao's sheer audacity.
He must be. Niu Gao refused to break, basically spat in his eye.
He just orders, "Take Niu Gao back to prison." He doesn't kill him. The bluff worked completely.
Niu Gao saved himself, and he saved Yu Fei and Zhang Bao. Incredible.
So Yang Hu turns back to Tang Huai, Yu Fei in disguise. And he gives him a message for Marshal Yu Fei. He wants Yu Fei to know Niu Gao is alive, still his prisoner. Part information, part threat, maybe.
Oh, definitely psychological warfare. Yang Hu's trying to play mind games now, letting Yu Fei know he holds a valuable hostage. It's a way to potentially sow discord, maybe tempt Yu Fei into negotiations, or make him hesitate before attacking. He's using Niu Gao as leverage.
And then he makes his pitch. He tells Tang Huai to tell Yu Fei, "If your marshal surrenders to me, he'll get titles and riches."
The classic temptation, trying to buy loyalty, appealing to ambition or perhaps perceived frustration with the current regime Yu Fei serves.
Followed by the warning.
Basically, if you fight me, you might slip up, ruin your great reputation. Think carefully, don't regret it later. He's hitting all the angles. Greed, fear, pride. He's threatening Yu Fei's honor, his legacy, which was hugely important. He's trying every trick to avoid a direct fight, using Niu Gao as the pawn.
But Yu Fei has weathered the storm. He got the intel, delivered the challenge, survived the near exposure thanks to Niu Gao. So he just Yukibi bows, takes his leave formally, collects Zhang Bao,
Meets Wang Heng back at the boat, presumably.
And they row back across the lake to their own camp, mission accomplished against truly incredible odds.
Made it out. Or seemingly made it out.
Right. You feel like he's clear, but in these stories, it's rarely that simple.
Exactly. That lingering suspicion Young Hu had. It suggests the deception wasn't maybe quite as perfect as they hoped. There's always a loose end.
And sure enough, just by chance, Hua Pufeng shows up back at the base.
Bad timing for you, Fei.
Terrible timing. Yang Hu tells him about this visit from Tong Wai. And Hua Pufeng, he's sharp, instantly puts it together. He says, Sangong, if that's the case, it was probably Yu Fei pretending to be Tong Wai scouting us out.
The penny drops. And unlike Yang Hu, Hua Pufeng acts immediately.
No hesitation. He launches a big, three-masted ship in pursuit. This thing sounds serious. Fast.
Definitely a warship, or at least a very fast pursuit vessel. A huge threat to a small boat.
And he's shouting across the water, Ha Bo Fei, where do you think you're going? Hua Pufeng is here. The chase is on in.
This is where things could go really wrong. Shows how quickly the situation can turn. You need to react fast.
And Yu Fei does. It's unbelievable. He goes from spy back to warrior in seconds. Shows off some incredible skills. First, he grabs a seam, a slingshot.
A slingshot?
Right. Not exactly standard military issue against a warship.
But with amazing accuracy, he hits the utiam, the pulley at the top of the mast, jamming the sail rope.
Which would cause the sail to lose tension or control, right?
Exactly. It makes Hua Pufeng's big ship turn sideways, loses all its forward momentum. Brilliant.
Wow. Disabling a ship with a slingshot. That's legendary skill.
He's not done. Next, he fires 3 flaming arrows. Bam, bam, bam. Sets the sail swing instantly on fire. Chaos on their deck now.
So he's disabled their propulsion and started a major fire with just a few shots.
And then the psychological blow. He yells across, threatening to shoot Hua Pufeng's his left eyeball with a nice slingshot pellet.
Oof. That's personal and terrifyingly precise given what he just did.
Totally. Hua Pufeng is Hua Pufeng, utterly terrified, scared out of his wits.
Can't blame him. He orders his men, cut down the mast, put out the fire. They completely abandon the chase. Total disarray.
What a display. It really shows Yu Fei wasn't just a strategist, he was an incredibly skilled individual fighter, too. Resourceful, quick thinking, used everything he had. That combination of precision, fire, psychological warfare. Turning the tables like that against a bigger opponent, it's extraordinary. He's like a one-man special forces unit.
He really is. What an escape. So Yu Fei finally gets back safely, reaches the Dista, the water mouth, maybe like a known landing spot, gets back to camp. You could just imagine the generals waiting, anxious.
The relief when he walks back in.
And he tells them everything. Ophia recounts the whole crazy story.
And that debrief is crucial, right? He's not just telling tales, he's sharing vital intel. New Gao's status, the defenses, the terrain, the leaders' personalities, everything he risked his life for. That's the ground truth payoff.
Absolutely. And the generals, they hear all this, they're fired up, probably angry too. They urge him, let's attack now, let's go rescue Brother Niu, ready to charge right in.
Understandable reaction, emotionally driven, they want revenge, they want their comrade back.
But Yu Fei, even after this personal success, this daring mission, he pulls back, he's pragmatic. He says essentially, hold on. I see the bandits are still strong, they're in the middle of the lake. If they just dig in and don't come out, how can we beat them quickly? He's in deep strategy talks with his generals. They're grappling with a formidable problem. How to defeat this powerful bandit leader, Yang Hu.
Who controls Taihu Lake? Taihu, that's a huge strategic asset.
Exactly. This isn't some minor skirmish. Yang Hu is a significant threat. And then suddenly, right in the middle of all these high-level military talks, 2 men request an audience. Just fishermen.
Out of the blue.
Yeah, brothers, actually. Gang Minchu and Gang Minga. And Yu Fei, he's always observant. The text says he immediately notices these 2. Describes them as having bushy eyebrows, large eyes, broad shoulders, and a tall build.
So they look the part. Strong guys.
Right. It's like an instant visual cue hinting at this inherent strength, maybe a life of hard work that's more than just fishing.
It's really remarkable, though, how Yu Fei, a general of his standing, would even entertain seeing commoners like this, especially during a critical strategy session.
Good point.
This act isn't just about him being, approachable. It really reveals his radical openness to intel from any source, regardless of rank.
He's looking for value everywhere.
Exactly. Not just in his command structure. He's demonstrating this kind of leadership foresight that was, well, quite ahead of its time, frankly.
That's a fascinating insight into his character. And as the gang brothers start sharing their story, you realize just how crucial their perspective actually is. They were originally just simple fishermen on Taihu Lake, trying to make a living.
Right, minding their own business.
But then Yang Hu rises to power, gathers forces, occupies Dongting Mountain, and basically monopolizes all the fishing rights, becomes a regional warlord, controlling their very livelihood. And here's where their story gets really unexpected. The gang brothers actually fought Yang Hu.
They did. Fishermen against a warlord.
Yeah, engaged him in several battles and, surprisingly, managed to hold their own, forced a stalemate. Neither side could win decisively.
Wow. That says a lot about them.
It really does. And it led to this very unusual truce, where they became sworn brothers, with Yang Hu himself.
Sworn brothers, with the guy they were just fighting.
Strange, right. But because of this grudging respect, they were the only ones allowed to fish on the lake. It speaks volumes about their skills, probably not just with nets, but with fighting, too. Yang Hu had even tried to recruit them multiple times into his bandit forces.
Makes sense, given their abilities.
But the gang brothers consistently refused. Their main reason: their elderly mother at home. They were worried about her safety if they joined up with bandits.
A classic dilemma. Loyalty to family versus opportunity, or maybe survival.
Right. But now, hearing about Yufei's campaign to conquer Taihu, they see a different path, a chance to align with the legitimate government. They actually ask, how could fishing ever lead to a career or advancement? They wanted to contribute to the nation, not as bandits, but as common soldiers, with a more noble purpose.
This situation really illustrates the complex social dynamics back then. These local strongmen like Yang Hu, they carve out their own little kingdoms, forcing people to navigate these incredibly delicate loyalties just to get by.
Yeah, tough choices.
But what's striking about the gang brothers is that aspiration for a better Chushan, a meaningful path in life that's more than just survival. And Yufei, recognizing this deeper motivation, he understood they weren't just running from hardship, they were seeking purpose. And that connection, that emotional drive, could be a powerful lever for loyalty.
And Yufei, being incredibly sharp, he picks up on this immediately. He doesn't just accept them, he praises them, calls them wise and discerning heroes, outstanding talents. He sees their worth instantly.
He doesn't hesitate.
Not at all. But what he does next, even more remarkable, a real masterclass in building trust fast. He accepts them, gets them proper clothes, sure.
Yeah.
But then, in this incredible show of inclusion, he suggests they become sworn brothers with him and his other generals.
Wait, with Yufei himself and top commander?
Yes, declaring them ministers of the same court, just like that.
Wow. That raises a huge question, doesn't it? How did that go down? I mean, elevating common fishermen, former associates of the enemy no less, to sworn brothers and peers of his highest generals.
Right.
It wasn't just symbolic, it was a powerful, almost revolutionary move, breaking down hierarchies, forging instant, deep loyalty. It says so much about Yufei's confidence in his own judgment and his ability to inspire. He made these men feel absolutely indispensable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Genius-level people skills alongside the military strategy. And this new trust, it's immediately put to the test. They move from that formal ceremony to a celebratory banquet.
Yeah.
Everyone's drinking heartily, relaxed, informal.
Perfect setting for real conversation.
Exactly. And Yufei, always the strategist, uses this moment. He asks Gang Mingqiu directly about Yang Hu. Strengths, weaknesses, skills, why the government troops couldn't beat him. Get straight to the point.
And the way he does it in that informal setting, it's not an interrogation, it's a chat among new brothers.
Right.
Which allows for this incredibly valuable firsthand intelligence to just come out naturally. It underscores the value of talking to people who really know the ground truth, the lived experience.
And Gang Mingqiu delivers, gives the general assessment. Yang Hu, great on water, very skilled, but on land, limited.
Okay, so a naval focus.
Yeah. He also names Yang Hu's two best generals, Hua Pufang and Xu Bin. Says the others are pretty ordinary. But Gang Mingqiu reveals the real reason for Yang Hu's dominance on the lake. And this is where it gets truly captivating. He reveals Yang Hu has 4 special types of warships.
4 types, not just lots of boats, but specialized ones.
Exactly. These aren't just any boats. They're sophisticated, specialized, and frankly terrifying. They explain why he's been unbeatable on Taihu. First, cannon fire ships. Po and Chuan, 50 of them. Cannons on all sides, fired simultaneously. Extremely difficult to resist.
Naval artillery, that early, that's impressive. And devastating, I imagine.
Totally. Second Fleet, 50 crossbow tower ships.
Mm-hmm.
In Zhou Xuan, these things are fast, propelled by water wheels, bow and stern, letting them move like flying.
Speed is key on the water.
And they're protected by bamboo fences. On deck, crossbow towers shielded with raw cowhide, soldiers inside firing arrows nonstop.
Range attack power.
Plus, below them, other soldiers with shields and long knives for close combat if anyone gets near. So you've got speed, defense, ranged attacks, melee. A nightmare to face.
Wow. Okay, that's 2 fleets. What's the third?
The third. Gang Mingda jumps in for this one. 50 vessels called water ghost ships. Shingung Chuan.
Water. Ghosts. That sounds
Um,
ominous.
It is. The crew are literally called water ghosts, hired from coastal areas, Zhang and Quanzhou, and their ability, it's astonishing. They can stay submerged underwater for, wait for it, 7 days and 7 nights.
7 days underwater. How is that even possible?
The text says they even eat raw fish while underwater.
Incredible, like ancient special forces divers.
Exactly. And in battle, these water ghosts jump into the water, swim under enemy ships, and drill holes in the bottom. Sink them from below.
My God, that's terrifying. Psychological warfare, too. Your ships just start sinking for no apparent reason.
Totally. A specialized, devastating tactic. Gang Mingda then says, look, if you can defeat these first 3 fleets, Yang Hu's own 4th fleet, his personal command ships, they're not worth worrying about.
So the specialized ships are the entire key to his power.
Seems like it.
This isn't just a list. It's profound evidence of ancient military innovation, highly specialized warfare. Those water ghost ships especially, that's a level of sophistication you don't often hear about. It perfectly explains why the Imperial Navy was struggling. They were facing tactics and tech they just weren't prepared for. Something completely outside conventional naval thinking at the time.
You can almost feel Yufei's mind racing, right?
Yeah.
Connecting all the dots.
Yeah.
His reaction is immediate gratitude. He calls this intel the Emperor's great fortune.
He knows. He knows he just got the key.
The actual blueprint to turning this whole campaign around. So the banquet ends, everyone goes off to rest. But Yufei, no rest for him. He spends the entire night pondering a plan, piecing it all together, how to use what he just learned.
Working out how to counter those ghost ships, the crossbows, the cannons.
Exactly. Then, very early the next morning, he makes this discreet, quiet visit to the Gang brothers in the rear camp. The secrecy, the urgency, it's palpable.
He's not calling a big meeting. This is different.
Right. It signals that whatever plan he's cooked up, it requires absolute discretion. And it needs their unique, intimate knowledge of the lake. And the Gang brothers, they just double down on their loyalty. They say, if there's any task my brothers and I would go through fire and water, we dare not refuse. Absolute commitment.
They're all in.
Totally. And then the moment of suspense. Yufei leans in and whispered a few words into their ears.
And the text doesn't tell us what he said.
Nope. Leaves us hanging completely. But you know, whatever it is, it involves these 2 ex-fishermen, now sworn brothers.
Mhm.
It must be something incredibly audacious, something only they could possibly pull off.
And that really emphasizes the trust, doesn't it? Not just trusting them for information, but for execution.
Yeah.
Given their specific knowledge of the lake, their experience with Yang Hu, their skills, what kind of plan needs that level of secrecy and their direct involvement? It really highlights Yufei's genius, recognizing the battle won't be won by brute force alone. It needs precision, insider knowledge, maybe even some kind of covert operation.
Exactly. And the chapter ends with this amazing poetic cliffhanger. It foreshadows the massive conflict about to erupt. Tiger lurks in deep forest. In an instant, rivers overturn, seas capsize, bees gather at 3 fords. In a flash, fire rages, smoke flies.
Wow, that paints a picture. Intense.
Doesn't it? Just vividly portrays the impending battle, the huge stakes, promises a truly cataclysmic fight.